Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Jenny here with Sipping Streams Tea Company, and you might notice there is a little bit of a difference in scenery, and that's because we are currently in winter here in Alaska. So I know so many of you are getting ready right now for the holidays. It's already November. I can't believe it's already November. There's like 2 more months of 2022. So I wanted to share with you what I do for my morning routine each day that's super quick and easy. It takes about 15 minutes in order for me to have a successful day. So, with my tea company that I've had for almost 16 years now, we have a tea house, which is a restaurant. We have a store and a factory all in one in Alaska. Oh, and we also have our own tea farm here also. And we specialize in tea education. So many of you have asked me through the years, how do you do it? How do you do it all? It must be all the tea that you're drinking. Well, honestly, the tea keeps me nice and warm and it does give me energy. But in the end, it has to do with what I choose to do with my day. And there's three things that I go through over and over again every single day that literally is a huge game changer. So, as a successful small business here, especially in Alaska, with crazy temperature differences and seasons and changes in sunlight, lack of sunlight, tons of sunlight, every season is a new challenge. And so, for my morning routine, especially during the holidays, where we have literally a trade show almost every weekend. This past weekend, I didn't have one because it was my birthday weekend, and I just happened to not have one scheduled, surprisingly. I took some time for myself just to celebrate my birthday and celebrate it with friends and family. But the big things that are needle movers for my tea company for all of these years have been staying organized and mindset. Mindset is huge, mindset is key. So I don't wake up every morning and go make myself a cup of tea first thing in the morning. I do this after I have these three quick tips. The first thing I do is I make a checklist. It could be mental, it could be on my phone, it could be on a piece of paper. That's the first thing that I do when I wake up is I start making a checklist, whether it's physical or in my mind, and start running through everything that I need to conquer, the biggest needle movers. I don't have a lot of time once my day gets going, so it doesn't have to be a perfect checklist, but I start making a checklist. It's also the thing I do right before I go to bed to prepare myself. This is what I started doing when I was in college, when I was a double major in athletic training and physical education. And I had 19 credits a semester, an internship that cost me my time of 40 hours plus a week and two part-time jobs. And so with all of that, I knew from the very, very beginning, I would forget. I would easily forget things because it was just too much on my plate. So I would make a checklist before I went to bed and I'd review it in the morning. So it's kind of like an evening and morning type of routine, that very basic thing of a checklist. Doesn't matter if I ever look at it again or not. It's in my mind, in the subconscious, like the conscious going to the subconscious, somewhere in there, and maybe I'll remember it or not. So that is the first important thing, is the checklist. The second most important thing that I learned after I started my tea company was time blocking, making like a grid. So when I was a teacher, this is what I learned when I was a teacher, is your day when your students come in have to be organized. You have to time block. When are they going to PE? When are they going to library? When is the next class coming in? So for me, when I was a PE teacher, I would have a schedule, right? A daily schedule. And some of you who are parents know this, that, at this time, this classroom comes in. At this time, I got to change everything. And now it's, special ed is coming into the gym or something like that. And then when I was a high school teacher, I had to do with all the subjects that I taught, math, science, PE, all the different math classes that I had to teach. So time blocking and staying organized with that massive checklist that was floating in my mind somewhere, and then looking at the time blocks of my day, trying to hit those goals Now I'm starting to like meld those two thoughts of the time blocks in my day, the schedule of my day essentially, and what my goals are, the really important things that have to be executed. So maybe the checklist is like 100 items long. I'm not going to do all 100 items, but I'm going to, as my time blocking is going through, it's going to execute what those things are. And then the third thing, before I go and have my cup of tea in the morning, is that I'm going to start thinking about and analyzing what things were great and what things need improvement. It all has to be with your mindset. There are things that have happened the day before in your really, really intense, stressful, busy season, especially during the holidays, that there's nothing you can do. You can't fix that conversation that has already happened. You might go back and apologize, but that conversation already happened, right? You can't go back in time and choose not to yell at your kids. It already has happened, but you can choose to make the changes you want to see today. And so mindset has a lot to do with gratitude and reflection and analyzing. And granted, once the alarm clock officially goes off, and every morning I wake up at about 5 a.m., once it goes, it's go time. Like my whole family needs to get up and we're going to the tea house to work, or we're driving on a trip for another trade show. So for tomorrow, we're driving down to Anchorage and Wasilla for a trade show. And it's just really intense. And there's a million things that are going to come in and throw a wrench in the system. Maybe it's going to be 25 wrenches in the system. It's just going to be a really bad day. But that morning routine for me is super, super important. Yes, tea helps fuel me. Yes, I know the different health benefits of the different teas and how they work for my body. I use that knowledge and I apply it to myself. And I choose different teas depending on what is going on. But if I do not analyze and organize my thoughts, how am I going to know what I'm going to use in my tea drawer? What teas I'm going to use in my arsenal for the day? Do I need a lot of energy? Maybe I need to relax. Maybe I'm just too anxious and I need something calming like chamomile lavender or African sunset, because now I'm starting to have like stomach ulcers from stress. So it's not that I'm a superwoman and I do not deal with the everyday situations that come up in life. I get it. Things come up. But because I am so knowledgeable in tea, I can apply it instantly to whatever I'm going to have to deal with that day, whatever's going to be coming at me, thrown at me. So if you're interested in learning more about the health benefits of tea, or you're just curious about how to use it in your everyday life, you can schedule a connect call with me at any time, a quick 15-minute call if you're interested in learning more about tea, how to up-level it in your life. And there's the link below on my Calendly, and you can book a quick 15-minute connect call if you're interested in learning more about tea. There are a million questions that people ask me about what tea is good for X, Y, and Z, and what type of tea should I drink in this season of life, and what helps with this and that. And yes, my background is in sports medicine. Yes, I have practiced it before, but at the same time, it's like, do you know enough that at any moment while you're conquering your daily checklist, your time blocks, or dealing with family, friends during the holidays, do you have it like right there, right at your fingertips because you've been studying it, that it becomes natural for you? And so this is one thing that we have really, really pressed hard into our team at Sipping Streams, is that tea knowledge is extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful. But just because we have all this knowledge in our heads and we can tell people and educate them means nothing until we've applied it to our own personal life of everyday routine. So if you want to hop on a quick connect call with me to learn more about tea, feel free to book it down in the description below. And also, if you're interested in learning more about tea and different types of topics and how like a small business entrepreneur can grow from 6 to 7 figures and how to grow a brand, I would be interested in knowing what you're interested in learning about. So You can also join us in the Sipping Streams Tea Tribe, the private Facebook group, where there's a bunch of people who love tea, who love chatting about tea, and they're all on the same journey, the same tea journey of elevating their lives and learning more about tea. So, two things. You can join the Sipping Streams Tea Tribe private Facebook group, or you can book a Connect call with me. And I can't wait to see you in our next episode about tea.